I'm so excited to bring up Sandy Tomasini first. And I say when I grow up, I want to be Sandy. Sandy is, here she is, the girl next door. And so she's going to come and give us some tips on sharing Christ in our neighborhood.
She's going to do sign language.
So I lost my voice. I apologize. A few weeks ago I got together with Brittany and Lauren, and we kind of brainstormed what last week and this week was going to work. And my big mouth just volunteered that I would, things that I did at home. And Lauren, so dictator style shit, said, well, then you're going to share the second week, okay? So here I am, ladies, and with that I want to be able to communicate how the Lord, Abba Father, has worked through my little family in reaching out to my neighbors literally next door. I don't know about you, but now that I'm 40 years old, I kind of reflect on the past a lot more than I did when I was in my 20s or in my 30s, to be honest. And I've God has put it in me to kind of identify different stages in my life as seasons. And one of my favorite seasons in my life was pre-children. It was amazing. Ben and I were blessed with just coming to the Lord together, and in that we had opportunities to explore the earth that God so just wonderfully created for us to be part of. In that season, He also made opportunities for us to serve in youth ministry. And it was in that youth ministry that the commandment of Mark 12:31, that the second part is, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, was easy for us to fulfill because ministering to youth was so easy, and the program was already established, and it was through that opportunity that the Lord blessed us in being able to minister also abroad in Mexico, in LA, and in Costa Rica. So we felt that we were blessing our neighbors because we were working with youth in our community. And then just coincidentally, we were able to bless our neighbors in foreign countries. And that was an amazing season in our life, and we were very blessed. And then came the most important season of our life, and probably the hardest at the very beginning, and it still is, to be honest, but it's also the most exciting and fun. And that's on this side of parenthood. And, for two people who spent their, days prior to children, wondering where we're going to spend our money as far as where we're going to go eat, if it was going to be Ian McPhee's or AJ Spurs, to standing in our child's nursery looking at poopy diapers and wondering, is a solid good? Is it too liquid? Does it smell right? I thought, Lord, what kind of season am I in now? I want to go back to AJ Spurs and Ian McPhee's. But in that season, the Lord did something. It was the mommy year from hell, because there was a lot of life transition. And I was wondering, why am I here? And how am I supposed to love others when I can barely manage being a mommy to this infant little girl? And it was in that season that the Lord said, honey, this season, your neighbors are going to bless you. You don't have to go out and bless anybody right now. Right now, you need to be humble. You need to put your pride aside. And you need to be, in this season, allow me to work through people to come alongside you and help you. And wow, was that a season of growth, because pride is the root of all evil, and I really had a hard time depending on others to say, can I help you? Can I come and clean your house? Can I make you a meal? And it was in that season that I found rest, and that I also found another type of community and neighbors, and that was mommyhood. And from that season, we went into having preschool-age children. And once my kids became kind of preschool age, I had to kind of take a step back and figure out, okay, how do I fulfill this commission to love my neighbors? What is it going to look like? I had to mourn, not a closing of a chapter in my life, because I could return to youth group eventually, maybe when my children are there, but to say that I can no longer serve there, so I can't love my neighbors in that capacity again. But what does it look like now, for the season that I am in? How do I identify who my neighbors are? And the Lord said, I need you to try to figure 3 things out. I need you to find out, what are your strengths? What are you good at? What is something that comes natural to you? Where are you spending your time? And who are you around with the most? Loving your neighbors is going to take some things. It's going to take the ability for you to give, to be ready to give, to be ready to listen, and then to speak truth. And the only way that you're able to do that is by connecting. He said, honey, how do you expect to love your neighbors if you don't know who they are? And literally what he meant was that my neighbors next door. I didn't really know who they were. So the season that I was in toddler, preschool age children. And the thing that I was doing, and it might not look like this for you, was baking a lot. I mean, food, when you're a mommy, everything revolves around food. There's breakfast, there's snack time, there's lunch, there's snack time, there's dinner, and then there's after dinner snack time, and then they want dessert. I was spending my time in the kitchen. So from that, I am not a great baker or a cook, but I love my family, and I know they like to eat, so I spent my time there. From that came things where I would just bake too much, and I would put 4 plates out and put the goodies on the plates, saran wrap them, and I would walk outside with the kids. We have 4 neighbors, and I'd stand out there and I'd send my little kids, because I was so scared that they would reject me. Who can turn away a little boy and a little girl with a plate full of cookies? So I would stand outside, and okay, go ahead, say, go ahead. And I'd stand on my hill, and there they go, smiling, and they knock. They're not there, Mama, just knock harder. So they knock, and sure enough, they exchange, and what ended up happening over the years is, more often than not, they actually came back with stuff. I got onions, dozen eggs, pomegranates from the neighbors. Eventually, what that has led to is I had to break that wall down. I had to break the wall that I had created in my home of, well, we come home, and then we leave, we do life inside our house, and we don't involve our neighbors. That allowed for exchanges of smiles, or how are you doing, or hey, thank you for that, that stuff was really good, we really appreciate it, to knowing that, our neighbors are struggling and maybe going through a divorce. So it opened those opportunities for us to do life together in my neighborhood. Now, to be honest with you, have I preached the gospel? No, I haven't. But I hope that I've lived it out, and I hope that I've modeled it for my children to live it out in such a way that they know that we can be blessings without saying much, but by encouraging others. I came across a verse, and it's Romans 15:2. And this one was really challenging. It says, let each of us please his neighbor for his good, to build him up. How can I build somebody up when I don't know them? And how do I get to know them? For me, what has worked is sending a plate of cookies with 2 little kids. And that has opened a door to at least an exchanges of smiles and hellos, and to conversations with a man about his currently, during his divorce with Ben and himself, and then he and I challenge you ladies, that I know that our neighborhood and our neighbors can be different. They look different, and they can be different. For us, it was very convenient. We live in a neighborhood where the kids could just walk to the neighbors. I know for some of you live more in the countryside, where your neighbors are further away. So I encourage you leaving that bag of goodies in their mailbox, or even attaching it to a fence if getting access to them is not possible. But I think that when we reach out with something as simple as maybe some candy or a baked good, it opens the door to communication and to connection and to relationship. And I think that's one of the great things that the Lord wants us to do, is to be a blessing. Because there might be a season in your life where you're going to need those neighbors to come in to help. Whether it's to simple things have started, like we put each other's trash cans back up, take them up from the street. We, the newspapers that are dropped really far off from our neighbor, we take it up to the door. Those small actions, I think, encourage people to want to build relationships with us. And I would hate to be a family where our neighbors know that, hey, those are the Tomasinis, but we don't really interact with them. As opposed to, hey, those are the Tomasinis and their kids are crazy and their mommy likes to bake a lot. I was reading through things and I came across a quote by Frank Fredericks, and it says, "Loving our neighbors, whether next door or at our doorstep, doesn't require a change in profession. Just a willingness to speak, to listen, and to give." And I think that's very important, that we would be willing to give of ourselves, and then that we'd be willing to listen. And then in that, hopefully there'd be an opportunity for you to step out and speak truth and speak love in our God. Thank you, ladies, for letting me share.
Thank you, Sandy. Excellent. Margie, would you like to come up? I know, so these are just some women that I've seen who are really good at reaching out to neighbors and stuff. So I just want to ask Margie how she does it, because now she has grandkids and she's in a different season too. So to see what that looks like to love her neighbors, and she does live in the country too, so let's see how that looks.
Yeah, so ours is a little bit different. We live on a street in Templeton called Eureka Lane. We've lived there for 26 years, and there were 8 houses when we moved there. Now we have, I think we're up to 10, but we're 5 acres apart, and so we really don't, I mean, we know who our neighbors are, but we really don't, get to know them well. Probably our, I thought this was more on like Christmas traditions in our neighborhood, so
No, but yeah,
is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so one of the best Christmas traditions that we have had in our family started with my husband, and it's been 20 years now. And John one day said, "Hey babe, how about if we Christmas carol throughout the neighborhood?" So we at that time had a really big tractor, so he took our tractor, put lights all over it. We actually have sleigh bells. He put sleigh bells on it. There's, I guess it's like the roll bar that goes over, and then he hangs the sleigh bells from it. And then he got a 22-foot flatbed trailer and filled the whole middle with hay bales. And so every year now we choose one night, about a week or a week and a half or so before Christmas. And Gail is my sister, Gail Farrell, and they live next door. So we have a big soup and salad and a big dinner over there first. And being that we're limited in size due to the trailer, we have probably, I think we usually have about 25 people, and some of you in this room have come with us. But it's just been a great tradition. And everybody bundles up, and it's cold, and sometimes it's been very misty, but whatever the weather, we go out and we Christmas carol to all of our neighbors. It's super well received. I mean, here is this big old honking tractor, and it's just boom, 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 going up the driveways, and our neighbors come out. Sometimes they'll bring us cookies. We've gone out onto Templeton Road, which we've actually stopped doing that now, just because that we've got little kids and grandkids, and it's kind of a quiet road, but you just never know when you are on a flatbed trailer. If your grandkids are going to try and jump off or whatever. So we've kind of toned it back and have just done our street now, and it's just a really fun tradition. I do have to say though, we did have one of our neighbors call. And she's probably one that I do need to reach out more to. But she actually called and she said, "You guys rutted out my driveway," with the tractor. And so last year we didn't go to her house. So it's kind of a hard thing, we just don't know what to do with that situation. So last year we didn't go. I doubt that we will this year because, you don't want your driveway rutted out for sure. So anyway, that's the only negative comment that we ever have had, and it's always been really well received. Let's see. Another thing that I've done is I have a very little tiny garden. And as you all know, zucchini is a very prolific vegetable. Right? So I have my 1 or 2 zucchini plants. And my little granddaughter, Camilla, I think we started when she was about 3 and a half or maybe 4. And kind of along the same lines, Sandy, with baking, is I had told Camilla, let's have a bread making ministry. And so when she would come over on Tuesday afternoons, we would bake bread. And it was just so fun because she'd get so excited about it, and we'd bake a loaf for her family, and then we'd bake a loaf to give to someone. And just like Sandy, I would have her go up to our neighbors, or I've actually had her taken to other people as well. And she'll say, this is from my Grammy and I. We have a bread making ministry. And we want to show God's love to you. And so it's just been really fun. It's been a really neat, tangible way to get your grandkids involved and then to be able to show God's love at the same time. And now Christopher, he wants to join in as well, so it's kind of grown. Let's see. Also in our neighborhood, last summer we ended up having a big block barbecue, and we had some people moved in and some people were renting, and so we're like, well, we really don't know those people, so let's just have a big block barbecue. So in everybody's mailbox, we made up an invitation, a big flyer, and put it in and put the date and the time. And you guys, it's really an easy way to get to know your neighbors, because like you can provide the meat and then just have everybody bring a side dish. And it was really fun. I mean, it was the first time that we had done that. Super well attended. Very easy to do. We did it on a Sunday afternoon, and it's just a great way that's simple, and yet it's fun to get everyone involved in that way. And the only other thing that I can think of right now about reaching out to your neighbors is that I had a mail lady that would deliver our mail. And again, we live out in the country, and so it's not like I get it, right at my house. I have to walk a little bit to my mailbox, and I would see her, and day after day, and she was just this angry, mad mail carrier. And so I just kind of started listening to her, and wow, I mean, she was just bitter and hard, and she was really struggling in a lot of ways with her husband and her kids, and on and on and on. And so I realized that this woman just needed a listening ear. And so often in our neighborhoods, that's all we have to do, is just be available to listen. And some people don't have a shoulder. And this woman she'd come to my house, and she would just literally, just fall apart. And then, she could talk for maybe 10 minutes, and then she'd have to go on her way and continue her job. But anyway, I ended up inviting her to church, and she came and started bringing her kids. And in all honesty, I saw her probably several months ago, and I haven't seen her lately, so I do need to get into contact again with her. But ladies, just I think it is just reaching out, putting yourself out there, and having shoulders for people to lean on and to cry on, and she did. And I think that's just a way that we as Christians can share who we are in Christ and just be available to our friends and neighbors around us.